Good evening, brothers and sisters. This is Danny from CatchForChrist.net, and today we're going to be memorizing Luke chapter 2, verse 19. As always, we'll be using the Scripture Typer Bible Memory System app. It's a phenomenal app. I highly recommend it, and it's pretty straightforward. But if you like a more in-depth tutorial on how I like to get the most out of the app from my point of view, please see the first video on this channel's playlist. But this is the home screen. You'll hit My Verses. Then you'll hit the plus sign at the bottom right-hand corner. Select New Verse. You will select which book the verse is located. You can enter the chapter and verse or verses notation, but just one for today. You can choose different English translations, and you can choose to categorize your verses into different verse collections. Then you'll hit Import Verse Text, and then the text should appear below. Then you hit Save, and just scroll down to where that verse is located. Okay, I'm going to find it in here, Luke. Alright, it's a three-step process. The first step is type it. You're going to hit the first letter of each word, and the word should change from gray to black. But Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. Luke 2:19. Once again, but Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. Luke 2:19. Once again, but Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. Luke 2:19. Now the second step is to memorize it. Memorizing it just entails hitting the first letter of each word again, but now you're essentially filling in the blanks. As you'll see, the app takes away half the words. But Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. Luke 2:19. Now on the last two steps, when you make a mistake, it'll always buzz, turn red, let you know you made a mistake. But it will also leave behind a heat signature. Also, every other time you hit memorize it, every time it'll alternate which half of the verses are visible. And the heat signature is just a little red mark that sticks around. But Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. Luke 2:19. And the heat signature will get lighter every time you correctly enter the type the right word in that space. But Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. Luke 2:19. And once again, but Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. Luke 2:19. And now you'll hit master it. That's the last step. As you can guess, you're just going to type the verse without any on-screen helps. So, but Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. Luke 2:19. And there you have it. So not all verses are this short, and they're not always this easy. Sometimes it takes me a little longer to get to 100% accuracy. But once I do get to 100% accuracy, I like to do this, and I always recommend to people that you try to get 100% accuracy at least 3 times. You really want to ingrain the error-free version of the verse in your head before you call it a day, at least for this verse. So the next time you try to recall or you need to review the verse, it'll usually come back a lot easier, I think, at least in my experience. Now, the reason I like to recite the verse each time is because after, 6, 7, or even 9 times of doing this in different steps, you're going to start to hear your own voice in your head, as well as visualize the words, because you've been doing it so often and so many times in a short amount of time. So I really like this method. That's why I think reciting is important. And also what is important is reading verses in context. And of course, this is in the birth narrative in Luke, very important text. So it's good to understand what exactly Mary is treasuring in her heart and why there's a conjunction. Why is it but? What is that in contrast to? So context is always important. But hopefully we'll be posting this video in an article or a post on the website, CatchForChrist.net. Hopefully that'll be coming up soon. But thank you for watching, thus far. Have a great day, and God bless.